potential is slept on, not only by other people, but by ourselves. And I feel like if we realize that potential, we would honestly stop seeking gratification from a group of people that will never see our value and never see our worth. And one of the main reasons why they don't see it is because we don't see it in ourselves. Because you're reaching for acceptance from a group of people who have never cared to begin with. Self acceptance, self grace, manifesting within yourself, seeing beyond just what you know or what you're taught. Our parents didn't know everything, our grandparents didn't know everything, our great grandparents didn't know everything. We only did, or we only dealt with the cards that laid in front of us. We never reached for the deck and flipped through it to see what else there may be. We only see those cards that, and it's so much more beyond that. So, and I mean, it's lit because I'm black.
The joy of children laughing around you. These are the makings of you. It is true, the makings of you.
What's up, good people? How y'all doing? It is your host, Mr. D713, or Drake with Everything Culture. And we're back with another Makings of You. And tonight we are with Renee. Renee is joining us. And, you know, she met her on TikTok. You know, she's been one of my good people that's been following me and rocking with me with a little bit over there. If y'all don't follow me on TikTok yet, y'all missing out. You ain't got to. But hey, that's where you can catch me from time to time. But Renee, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I am swell. I'm awesome. You know, I'm blessed. I would say that. You know, we were just showing how this is your first time listening to not listening, but you want to make this organic. So this is your first time experiencing the makings of you. So with this, it's all about you. You feel me? All about you. Nobody can sway anything about you. Nobody can speak up for you other than you. So you can ask some questions. They're open-ended. If you feel uncomfortable with the question, you can say pass. If you don't know the answer at the moment, once again, no wrong answers. These are just your answers, okay? We can come back to you, or matter of fact, if I don't know is an answer. So anything like that, you know, we just go ride. We just go ride the wave. This is a vibe, okay? You good? You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do this. So Renee, what do you want me to call you, Renee? Is Renee cool? K Renee?
Renee.
Okay, cool. So Renee, who are you?
As a person, I'm a whole introverted hot mess, is what I like to call it.
Introverted hot mess. Okay.
There's a lot of there are a lot
Okay.
of levels to this.
Okay. Give me one of the levels.
I don't know. Let's just go for the jugular. My toxic trait is sleeping on myself and my potential.
We don't want to do that, right? We don't want to do that.
I'm trying. I'm borderline in shambles right now, but I'm trying. We getting there.
But we will get there. Okay. What do you identify as?
Me? Nah, she, her. However you want to look at it. I'm just me. I mean, no other real way to describe it.
Okay.
I'm a unique.
Love it. How would you describe yourself?
If I had to describe myself, like I did say, I'm introverted, but I'm a little mean, but I'm mean in a good way, in a constructive way. Because like the people that I surround myself with and the people that are around me, I want them to hit their full potential, which also falls back to my toxic trait. I push them, but I don't push myself. which is backwards as hell. But I mean, hey, I digress. I want the best for the people around me. Like, no matter who it is, I want to see the good in everybody. I want everybody to do good. I look out for people more than I look out for myself. I try to keep myself in a selfless mindset. So I don't think about myself like I should.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I guess a pinch of mean with a whole lot of love and caring, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a whole lot of sense. I got some aunties like that. So, how would you describe your culture?
Ooh, how would I describe my culture? It's painful at times, but it's lit.
Painful at times, but lit.
Yes. And what I mean by that is like painful in a sense of as far as my black or African American, however you want to look at it, my people, the things that we have to go through, the things that society puts us through, the things that we put ourselves through. Because some of the things that we do are self inflicted.
Hmm.
And I wish that we saw the potential that we have and the things that we can do and manifest if we just realize it, simply just realizing it. I think a lot of our culture or my culture's potential is slept on, not only by other people, but by ourselves. And I feel like if we realize that potential, we would honestly stop seeking gratification from a group of people that will never see our value and never see our worth. And one of the main reasons why they don't see it is because we don't see it in ourselves. Because you're reaching for acceptance from a group of people who have never cared to begin with. Self acceptance, self grace, manifesting within yourself, seeing beyond just what you know or what you're taught. Our parents didn't know everything, our grandparents didn't know everything, our great grandparents didn't know everything. We only did or we only dealt with the cards that laid in front of us. We never reached for the deck and flipped through it to see what else there may be. We only see those cards and it's so much more beyond that. So, and I mean, it's lit because I'm black.
If you know, you know. It's just that simple.
Amen.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Hey, let's get into it. Thank you. Y'all are listening to the Makings of Renee. Okay. Renee, where are you from?
I am from Alabama,
Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama to be exact.
Okay. Okay. How
And you
old are you?
know, I am 34 years young.
Oh, okay. You're talking about, oh, we ain't gonna get into me right now. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it shaking. We'll keep it
Yeah, boy, yeah, boy. You got me by one.
shaking. What's your sign?
I am the greatest. I'm a Leo, of course.
Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Like, you had me worried there for a second. You had me
Ah,
worried. Well, I hear people say we're the greatest. I'm like, here we go again. Then I'm like, but you got it. Spot on, spot on. We good. Ain't no arguing with nobody.
oh no.
We just letting it is what it is. We don't want to be that. It is what it is. Okay. How would you define your childhood and upbringing?
Oh Lord. I'll say good and bad. Uh, I say good because at the time, as a child growing up, I saw what I thought people had it. I thought people had it worse than I did. I mean, I grew up in a two-parent household. Um, I was the baby of the family, so I was a little spoiled, not too much, but just a little bit. Um, both my parents worked. I never really grew up seeing my parents fight with each other. It was what seemed to be a healthy household. Um, but hindsight is 2020. um, I grew up with both of my grandmothers. One of my grandmothers is actually still alive. I never knew my grandfather, but for the most part, it was what seemed to be a close knit family. Like a lot of us are still close, don't get me wrong. But now in my adult years, and I look back and I'm forced to look back on my childhood and where certain things transpired or went wrong or whatever, however you want to describe it, it wasn't that picture perfect, good childhood that I perceived it to be when I was younger and didn't know any better. Because the trauma that I go through now is directly caused by things that happened to me growing up. And I missed those key points. I missed those marks. But my grandmother used to always say, just live on and you'll see. Never understood what that meant as a child
Mm.
until I got older and I looked back on a lot of key points that directly affect me now. And like even now, just thinking about it, I'm not normally an emotional person, but it hits different because you have to do that healing and that growth journey, and you're forced to look back at it just so you can push yourself forward. You got to figure out the root cause, and that's kind of what I'm dealing with now at the age of 34 because I've avoided it for so long. And growing up in church and growing up and being taught a certain way, and you're not supposed to do this, and you're not supposed to question that, and what happens in the family stays in the family. Those things. Now, granted, I'm as far as God is concerned, the church is concerned, I'm still there with it. But also, I'm taking another look at all those things that were hidden, all those family secrets, all those, you don't let outside people in, you don't tell the family business. That stuff is breaking a lot of our age and our generation. Those are the things that we're having to come back and heal from. Because there are things that have happened to us and things that we were taught. And now in our adult years, it's like, that was just wrong. All wrong. And it's like, I'll be damned. You having one of those aha moments, and it's like, shit, my family is a mess. My childhood was a mess. Like my whole childhood is just in shambles. Because I've had to think about the things that I've been through. Now, granted, morals and values and things like that, I'll carry those with me for the rest of my life. Respect. That's a big thing. But those other, like I said, those other hidden secrets and things that we were told by our grandparents and our parents, yeah, I'm not doing that. Especially not with my daughter. I can't. So it was good and bad.
Hey, let me tell you something. For someone to be an introvert, you open it up and you touch us on some beautiful things that we appreciate you doing with us tonight.
You know something? I've always been told that if I couldn't do nothing else, I could talk.
Same
I can converse with the best of them, but do I like being around? Not so much.
No, absolutely understand that. Trust me. So, what were the roles of your parents coming up?
What do you mean?
Like, and once again, open-ended. So, in your life, how did you depict your parents? What did they do? Where were their roles in your life?
My dad was my best friend. So, but I like as far as their roles, as far as husband and wife, woman and man, they both did things. Both of them did housework. Both of them worked full time. Both of them were heavily involved with me and my other siblings. I mean, so they didn't teach us gender roles like, oh, you do this because you're a girl, and your brothers do this because they're men, etc. No, like my dad had me in karate, or I was a tomboy growing up, and it comes out sometimes. I mean, but that's another story for another time. But like I said, my dad was my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
That was my partner in crime. I could go to that man when I couldn't go to nobody else. And I had my dad up until I was 27 years old. So it wasn't like, I lost my dad at a young age and I was looking for that affection and things like that. My dad was always there. If I called my dad with so much as a splinter, he was on the way. Now, my relationship with my mom, we got to pray about that thing. But I digress. But as a whole, there was togetherness. Like I never saw them divided. And if they were, they didn't let us see it. Like I said, those family secrets, those hidden things. So I'm not saying it wasn't there, but they always showed us unity
Mm.
in some capacity. Like it was never divided. When he got down sick, when my dad got down sick at first, from beginning to end, my mama was right there. And that's something I'll never take away from her, because regardless of his medical conditions, she stood her ground. She was there. So if I had to model certain things after my parents, the way that they had each other's back and the loyalty that they had for each other, I would definitely hold true to that in my own relationship if I get him. That's another story for another time.
Hey, but I love it though. That's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. What belt did you get though?
Oh, my mama
Mm,
threw
mm-mm,
hands.
mm-mm, mm-mm. You said you was in karate. What belt did you make it to?
Now Drake, now you gotta make me think back, because
What? I
I
know.
was in elementary school. I don't remember. I wasn't good at it.
I just gotta know.
I
People are gonna.
know
I gotta ask that question for the people, because people are people want to know. Like, you was in karate. What belt did you get in Jamaica? I don't know all the order, but was it white, black?
fooling around with me. I definitely was not a black belt, because I know that's top notch. Look,
Okay,
for the people and the inquiring minds that want to know, was I good at karate? No. Can I throw hands? Yes.
noted. She don't know karate, but she know crazy. Okay, gotcha.
Hello.
So you mentioned you had some siblings. So how many siblings do you have?
Them little heathens. I have all of my siblings are older than me, a lot older than me. Um, I have one sister, I have one biological brother, and two adopted brothers.
Oh, that's beautiful.
A total of three boys and two girls.
Okay, and you're the youngest. You the baby.
I'm a baby. They save the best for last, of course.
Oh, okay.
I'm serious. I am the best. They
Where do
love
you,
the kids.
where do you consider home?
I don't know.
Mm, okay.
And what I mean by that is, like, I really don't know. Because, like, what I considered home for so long has been so disrupted that it no longer feels like home.
Mm,
So it feels like I'm in the process of finding that home. I mean, I could easily say Alabama is home. I mean, it is. I was born and raised here. I've lived several different places, but coming back here is my root. This is where I started from. But does it feel like home? No. Um, my parents' house, does it feel like home? No,
mm,
not anymore. It used to, but again, that growth and looking back and seeing things for what they really truly are, it no longer feels that way. Because when I think about home, I think about a sense of comfort, peace, and that's all disrupted.
Mm.
I don't feel that anymore. So I'm indifferent when it comes down to where home actually is. So that's a to be continued, I think.
Yeah, and it can be, it will be. And thank you for sharing. But, once again, y'all, we are listening. You are listening to the Makings of Renee. So thank y'all for joining. So, grown up or up through your childhood, when you were in your household, home, and things of that nature, did you
Hmm.
have any chores?
Oh yeah,
Okay. Well,
definitely.
what was your go to and what was your least favorite?
Oh, it's funny. Anything that involved bleach was my least favorite. As a child or as a adolescent, I could not stand the smell of bleach. I couldn't do it. I don't know why, but like now, as an adult, that's like all I use. For everything, just about for everything. I put a little bit in the dishwater, the laundry, the mop water. My classmates used to tell me when I was in college, because don't judge me. This is something that my grandmother started. My grandmother used to put a little bit of bleach in our bath water because she would say, like, if you don't scrub your knees and your elbows and stuff like that, you're not clean. So she would put, I kid you not, and you're gonna laugh because you're from the South, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. She used to put a little bit of bleach and that green palm olive dish liquid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yes,
You
that's what she
ain't
would
saying
put.
nothing new to me, y'all. Like this.
Right. But I mean, but you know what? You'd be surprised because I used to tell people this and they look at me like, you bathe in bleach? Yes. You got to think about it. This is something I did as a child. Now, if you've never done it, I wouldn't recommend it, but my body is pretty much used to it. So it doesn't bother me. And like even now I do it. Like my daughter, I mean, she's, you know, self sufficient now, but at the time I used to put it in her water because the same thing my grandmother taught us is the same thing I do for her as far as, cleanliness. And my classmates used to tell me that, like, you smell sterile. I said, what does sterile smell like? They were like, why do I smell bleach? I'm like, because I just got out of the tub. They were like, you know what? That don't make no sense. And I'm like, look, at least y'all help us know I'm clean. Like, dang, like, why y'all gotta do me?
Y'all know why we do the makings of you. Yeah, she once again, she ain't been listening to the episodes. She don't understand. This is everything she says. Why we do what we do. That's why we have these conversations here. Because once again, this is our culture. This is how we're brought up. And look, let's get back on track. Let's get back to Renee, y'all. Let's get back to Renee. So, if you didn't do them chores, how were you disciplined growing up?
Well, of course, the go-to was fussing. Well, my dad was a softie. He couldn't do it. If he had to discipline me, he would cry about it later. And we're talking about a Libra man. My father was a Libra. He couldn't handle it, especially not me being a baby. And he used to tell my mom, he's like, you just too hard on her. Don't fuss at her so much. And then she'll be like, shut up. She'll tell me. And like, or if I got a whooping, he'll be like, that's enough. You ain't got to do all. So my mama was the stern one, and my daddy was a softy when it came to, especially me and my sister. Now the boys, not really. But like I said, there's such a huge age gap. So
What's the age gap between you and your sister?
10 years.
10. Oh Lord.
When I was in the I was in the fifth or the sixth grade. My sister went to the army.
Mm.
So I was at home by myself from towards the end of elementary school until I left home.
So you was almost like an only child to a sense too. Right.
Yes. And it's 20 years between me and my biological brother.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. My daddy was an old head. He was out here robbing cradles.
Shout out to Pops. You know, hey,
My
no, he in a
dad was
better
a man.
place. No, he in a better place. Listen down, laughing at this. I'm like, like,
Oh, he already knew I was a whole hot mess. I'm actually a lot like him.
I'm
That's what
about to say,
everybody.
I was just about to say, I don't even know him, but I know he come from you. So that I mean, you come from him. You know, you come from him. So you gotta have. He instilled bits and pieces all through you. So once again,
Oh
that's
yeah.
why we're doing the makings of Renee. So Renee, how do you feel about your education so far in life?
Ooh, I'm done with it. I don't have any more schooling left in me, and I'll give you a brief rundown. Um, of course, I graduated high school. Um, but oddly enough, when I was actually in school, I was good at it, but I didn't really care for it. I didn't care. I did it because that was quote unquote the right thing to do, or that's what you needed to do. You know, you always told go to school, get an education. Nobody can ever take that away from you, and that is true. But is it mandatory? No. You can learn so life experiences have taught me way more than any book that I have ever opened or paid for. Thank you, Fannie Mae. But I graduated college twice.
Hmm.
Um, yes, twice. Don't know what in the world I was thinking. Both of them are medical degrees. One in nursing and one in surgical technology. That's something that a lot of people don't know about me. Working in surgery was probably one of my favorite things to do. Nursing to me was boring. Shout out to all the nurses. I know y'all getting it in, especially in these times. To me, it wasn't what I wanted to do. Um, After I finished that, I immediately went back to school to become what they call a scrub tech or a surgical tech. And basically what that is for the people that may not know, like what you see on Grey's Anatomy, the person that's passing those instruments and holding the abdomen open for the doctor, that's what I did. Is it as reality TV ish or commercialized or extravagant as Grey's Anatomy in the operating room? Absolutely not. All that stuff that you see on TV, no, it does not happen like that. So if that's a question, no. Your answer is no. There's no operating room antics, no relationship drama inside the OR, people coming in and out. No, that don't. Now, granted, we still, we could talk and, we joke and laugh, listen to music while you're working because if not, it's going to be extremely quiet and awkward. But all the other stuff, no, that don't happen. Um, those are my two degrees as far as college is concerned, but there are a lot of other things outside of that that I know how to do and I'm certified to
Hmm.
do. I'm a baker. A lot of people don't know that. I don't really tell people that. That's one of my hidden secrets. I've been baking ever since I was about 17 years old. Um, yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorite things to do. I am a notary public for the state of Alabama. You are too?
Washington, though, of course.
See, look at you.
You got to give me some tips.
Um,
You know, I'm still new to it.
we both still new. I've only been in the same for like a year, so
Hey,
we we
okay.
we new to it. I'm also a loan signing agent, so I did both. I did notary and I did loan signing agent training and got my certification. Ah, shoot. What else? What else can I do? Oh, I took a class and got my certification in real estate investing. So that is another thing that I could do that most people don't. So yeah, that's the bulk of my education.
Just
So there's
dope.
a lot of things. up here, which is why I went and got, where are they? They're over there somewhere. But I went and got my planners today because work for me has been absolutely miserable. It is impeding on my mental health, and I'm ready to quit
You know, a lot of
because
the people have been saying this recently. I've been paying attention.
I, I'm serious. I'm ready to quit. Like I told one of my good friends, I was like, why am I taking a chance and clocking in for somebody else when I should be doing it for myself? I got all these things that I know how to do, mind you. And I forgot to mention, before I started this corporate job, I worked in education for 4.5 years with
Mm.
special needs children. And I absolutely loved it. I mean, but COVID happened, life happened, my mom got sick, I stepped down. Um, and I took this because it gives me the freedom to work from home, be there for my child, be there if my mom needs me. But why? Why did I do it? I mean, I did it for my child, I did it for my mom, but I didn't do it for Kim. And Kim is basically, and that is also my government first name is Kimberly. But I didn't do anything for me. I solely did it to look out for everybody else, and I'm not happy.
Mm.
And if I'm not happy, and if I'm empty, or if I'm disturbed from this job, I can't be of service to anybody else. This job is taking up so much of my time and so much of my mental space with their shenanigans that I can't even focus on what I need to be doing, which is working for myself. And I'm ready to break out of that. Like I'm at this point, I'm ready to unhook this whole setup and put it in the mail and send me my last check because I'm good. Like that's honestly where I'm at with it. Like no, mm-mm, I can't.
Hey.
I'd rather be a stripper.
Hey,
I'd rather be a stripper.
and that's something we definitely can touch on in the future because I've seen that's a change in culture. I knew when this pandemic was hitting. I'm in HR at this moment in life, and when this pandemic, I started my job on my current position a week before the pandemic, like, and stuff flipped, and the seeing this process going, I was like, I've been saying and haven't stopped saying things are changing. Things are not going back to normal, everyone. Everybody think, well, we can't wait till we go back to normal. Nah, y'all better start adjusting to life of what things are gonna
That,
look like now. And this could be bad for some, it could be great for others. But you can make it what you want to make it. So these are opportunities that we can take hold, put in the headlock and run with it. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah.
in all honesty, it'll either make you or break you. It's going to really show you who can adjust and who can only conform to certain things. Like if you're only used to one way and you refuse to change or break out of that, then you're going to be stuck. It's not going to work well for you. But if you're willing to change and grow into something else, or like I said, go back to seeing that full potential, not just those cards that are laid in front of you, progressing past that, because we're adjusting into a new normal. Because I don't feel normal is a very fluid state. I feel like normal can go in so many different ways. That's just like, well, what is your definition of different? Or what is your definition of original? That can go a lot of different ways.
For someone
Like I
that
told my
haven't
daughter,
listened for
hmm?
someone that haven't listened to the show before, you saying a lot of things I say on the show often. You feel me? You know,
And like that's what I tell my daughter. She was like, "Mama, do like she was going through the phase of
emotions.
developing her own style, emotions, attitude. She's coming into her own. And, she'll ask me about like certain things like, well, does this look crazy or does this look good? Do you think it looks good?
Mm.
Who really cares about what? somebody else thinks. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Hey, but when somebody fart, everybody smell it. So, yeah.
You know what? I'm not dealing with you.
I'm not arguing with you about it, but hey,
But you, I mean, you have a point.
I have the same logic, but more and more I do this show, more and more I'm looking at like people are persuaded by certain things, even myself. These are coming, but you know,
we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, we all guilty of it in one way or another, you know, and we just got to recognize those differences in total, and how do we adjust? So, but once again, we ain't getting into that right now. We're coming back to you because this is the makings of you with everything culture, and I guess Renee.
I'll give you another toxic trait of mine: deflection.
Deflection. Oh, I'm good at catching those too and batting it right back. That's a talent of mine. It's a skill. But what we're going to do here, we're going to our next question. So what were and what are your beliefs? You touched on it a little bit earlier within our conversation, but can you elaborate a little bit more if you choose to do so?
My belief system. Do I believe in God wholeheartedly? And not just because somebody told me to, or not just because, I was brought up in the church and, you have to sing in the choir and be on the usher board, all it is. No. I go off of what I feel. And I feel like even, especially now, in the times that we're living in now, people need something to believe in. And I'm not that person to tell people what to believe in. Whomever or whatever you choose to believe in or pray to or worship with or what have you, it's totally and completely up to you. I don't try to influence people's spiritual journey because I don't want anybody trying to influence mine. But yes, do I believe in God wholeheartedly? But do I believe in just quote unquote organized religion? This is the way it has to be because the Bible said so, and etc. and etc. Every book has typographical errors. And yes, it may say one thing, but, and there's always a but, how people perceive it and explain it and break it down are two totally different things. I grew up in a church that had a pastor that would not touch on things that he was doing. Because I'm gonna take you back. And I know this from your live this morning and your spiritual journey. The Bible simply tells you it cuts like a double-headed sword, right? So in order for him to keep from getting cut, he wouldn't touch on those things that he was doing that was contrary to what that so-called book said. But my thing is, if you're going to lead someone, you have to be raw and uncut. You have to accept your demons. You have to open up because the fact that you're keeping that from his people deems you unfit. And as old people would say, that blood is on your hands. So I grew up having to decipher and read and learn and understand for myself because man could tell you anything. You got to do your own research. And that was, I guess that was kind of like the turning point of my spiritual journey. It's like, okay, Kim, you can sit in church. You can hear somebody teach you the word. But can you go and read it and understand it for yourself? You got to open that thing up cover to cover and understand it for yourself. That's just like our history. They're erasing our history daily. If we don't educate ourselves on the things that we've been through and the things that have happened to us, then we'll never know. Our kids will never know. They're erasing it daily. I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her about like ancestry, and she was like, "I have ancestors." Hell yeah, of course you do. And then she began to tell me about, stories that she heard and things that she had read. And I said, and my daughter's name is Kalia. I said, Kalia, when you hear someone speak upon a specific topic, that is your prompt to go and do your research, because that person's perception of the story or that person's version of the story may not match with what really happened. It may lead you to things that you didn't know that you now need to know. Same thing with religion. If you don't dig deep and do your research, you're going to keep leaning on what grandmama told you when she was sitting on the morning bench, what the deacon said in Sunday school, what the preacher preached about that morning. No, baby, you got to go look and read for yourself. I've only told a select few people about this, but coming into my adulthood, I'll say from the age of 16 up until now, I had every single reason to distrust, unlearn, and turn my back on what I knew to be religion, all because of men. And I'm not talking about men that I dated. No, I'm talking about men that were supposed to be leaders, that were supposed to be shepherds of the flock, but they were living contrary to what that book said. They were living contrary to what they were teaching. Because everybody that preach heaven ain't going. So I don't care how much you talk about it. What are you doing? It simply says, woe unto the one that causes my sheep to do what? Scatter. So guess what? If you causing people to separate, if you causing conflict, then guess what? That's on you. I've had preachers, I use one for example. This man told me he had been watching me ever since I was 16 years old. And he didn't tell me this until I was an adult. So you watched me from a child. This is a family friend. These are things that I don't touch on. Nobody knows for real. Only a handful of people know. I mean, more will know now. Like you don't have to cut this part out. I promise
I wasn't.
you. Because like I
Unless
mean,
you
I
asked
didn't.
me to.
I didn't want you to. No,
Unless,
when I said I would do this, I meant I was going to do it, because just like I told you in my live, in your live, I'm sorry, that I was ready to tell the whole story, not bits and pieces.
hey, and we here for it. Once again,
And
this
it's
is your story.
right. And one thing you said in your live this morning, you was like, nobody can tell your story like you. Nobody can tell you what you experienced going through your story. And nobody can. And I don't care who or what tries to deny, I know what happened. And he is one of many. And these are people that are close in my family. They're close to my family, which goes back to those family secrets. So, yes, I could have turned my back on religion a long time ago. But like I said, my beliefs and what I feel as far as God is concerned, can't nobody alter that, because I've took the time to dig within that Bible myself. I know what it says. I'm not responsible for what they do. I'm responsible for how I act or react to what they do.
Can we get an amen? Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Renee. Get it off your chest then. Do your thing. But hey, but for real, this is greatly. Ooh, when I tell you, I've talked to some other hosts from gospel shows, and I want to have a show in the future. I don't know if it's going to fit in season 4, and it's
Mhm.
going to be a touchy topic, and we got to talk about topics such as this is the church, religion. I've had monks come on the show. I've had a pastor come on the show. But I want to make we're a little bit more refined now, and talking about, what's the difference between gospel and Christian music? Why is the difference? Why is it separated like that? Why is the difference in certain church? I took a world religion class when I was in college, and I remember being in that class, and one of the main things the professor said, like on the first and second day, is that anybody that's here is Christian, do not judge other people for their other beliefs and religion. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. There's only two other Christians in here, and and I'm one of them. And you just ostracized me like I was going to be, like I'm going to be discriminated against someone. I'm really trying to understand and learn, but
Right.
going through these things in life, positive and negative experiences, these stressors we have.
Mhm.
I've seen everything you seen yourself. Um, there's sometimes, I know it's a battle between people. That's why I don't put people on pedestals. But once,
Mhm.
look at me. You getting me into talking.
No, come
This is
on.
we'll talk about this later. Cause this
Okay,
is
yes, sir.
like we got questions, we got things we go touch on. We gonna be back
Come
to this.
on.
We'll be back to this. So give me 3 words that describe your community.
A hot mess. I'm just playing. When you say, don't pay me no mind. When you say community, what elaborate? Tell me what you say.
That's an open-ended question. What do you consider your community?
Lord, question. Honestly, I feel like it's me and my daughter.
Mm.
It's
How would
me
you
and my daughter.
how would you describe you and your daughter then?
Oh, that's my bestie. Like that's my little partner in crime. That's my little broke best friend. Now, yes, she run my pressure up, but I kill a brick and put a rock in the hospital behind her. Like, yeah, that's my girl. Now, granted, I do have a few people that I am close to, which is something that I don't normally do. And I feel like the closeness and the community that we created and the relationships that we have were on purpose. They were supposed to happen. Um, like I have one cousin that I'm extremely close to. Her and I both are Leos. She's she's a July Leo. I'm an August Leo. Actually, we're both double Leos. I mean, if you're into the big three and the big six, yeah, we're both double Leos. Oh yes, we're both double Leos. We both are equally crazy, but we understand each other. Don't look at me like that. But no, we get each other, and we're actually it's probably as different as day and night, but that's how we understand each other.
Hmm.
It just clicked. I don't know how to describe it. It just clicked. And then I have another, little small community of people that we met on weird circumstances, but it just clicked. It happened, and we check on each other. We make sure each other's kids are good. We make sure we're good. They tell me I'm the mom of the group because I do the fussing and the check in and the don't fuss at my babies because I've adopted all of their children because I refuse to breed again, but that's another story for another time. Um, so all of them are my babies. I make sure everybody's good. Like I told you, I make sure everybody around me is good. Do I do that to myself? No. But one of them, no, three of them are in Texas actually. One in San Antonio, one in Austin, one in Dallas. Um, One of my good friends, she's in Baltimore, and one is in Georgia, and then me.
Okay, you got your collective. Okay.
Yeah, they're my babies.
So, what's your 3 words for 'em?
Oh, now they really are a hot mess. And
Okay.
once they hear this, they probably gonna kill me. But no, they're hot mess in a good way.
Okay. 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 We rocking with it. Who has been the biggest influence in your life?
My daddy, that's easy. That's easy. I told you that was my person.
Love it. Love it. If you could recommend a book, a movie, and a television series, what would you recommend? Give me one of each, please.
Ooh. Damn it. Books. Wow. And I've read quite a few books. I would have to say my go-to would be The Coldest Winter Ever and Midnight, which is all part of the same series.
I know.
But those, yeah.
I heard
those
the
two
sequels
are
wasn't hitting like that though.
Huh?
I heard the sequels wasn't hitting like that though.
The Coldest Winter Ever and Midnight were the two that hit the strongest for me. The other one, not really so much. But those two, those were my two.
Okay.
And then I have a special like correlation between those books and a certain person that's kind of in my life. But nevertheless, moving on. A movie and a TV show. I don't watch a lot of TV. I would have to say TV show Criminal Minds. Reason being, I have this thing about forensics for one. And number two, a lot of people don't realize that those stories and cases were actually real.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some parts of it are exaggerated, of course, but the stories are true. And a lot of people don't realize that. If you don't really know the show or watch it or anything like that, you wouldn't understand. But that would be the TV show that I would have to pick. A movie, I'm more of a comedy type of person, so I'm not like real deep into movies. I'm weird, so my favorite movie is Transformers. Don't judge me.
Hey, that's a deep movie though. A lot of people be
I
sleeping on
love
Transformers.
Transformers. I love it because when Whatchamacallit got killed, I cried. I was like, that was his brother. That's the whole Cain and Abel moment. And he just killed him like that. I was broken hearted.
Mm-hmm.
Look, don't give me my feelings about no movie. We're not about to see it.
But that's the point about a lot of people don't know about Transformers. It got a lot of stuff to do with the Bible. That's the thing.
Yes, very much so. The whole scene in Egypt. Okay, come on now, y'all better pay attention.
You about to make me pause this, and we got to talking. Sister. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, when they were, I'm like, wait a minute. They touching on some stuff people may not understand. They really hit me. Okay.
Like when they were trying to get to the drop zone, the three wise men, the monument hidden inside the mountain. Come on, see, you know what?
And the whole point about the all spark, that is the once again,
we'll talk about that later.
Come back to it. Okay. If you could call three people, no matter who they are, if they with us or they're not, who would those three people be?
Shit, Drake. You want me to cry, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes that's why I ask, sometimes have you listened to the Makings of You? Sometimes people need some tissue sometimes. But this is real. This is what
I'm a G about mine. I'm not gonna cry.
Okay.
You almost made me cry this morning. How many more tears do you want, sir? In your life this morning.
But that'll make you smile too, though.
Yeah, guilty.
All right.
If there were three people that I could talk to, I'll start with, I guess, someone that's here with us. I would say one of my brothers because I don't know, like, and this is one of my adopted brothers, but after his divorce, I don't know, he just hasn't been the same. He's not himself anymore. He goes through his moments and like he disappears. And it's like, I respect his boundaries and his space. Like, all I ask is, just let me know you're okay. I mean, he is a cop, so, his job is a little on the dangerous side at times. So, like I tell him, just let me know you're good. That's it. I don't want to pry. You don't have to open up if you don't want to, if you're not ready, but just let me know you're okay. And it's been a little while since we have talked. But I know he's going through his moment. And the last time we left off, I mean, and it may sound weird, even though we're in the same city, but still, um, the last time we talked, he was deep into his spiritual journey and healing. And I think about him quite often. Just want to know you're okay. But like I said, I don't want to pry and, make him just completely shut down because he feels like he's forced to express himself or let me know what's going on because he feels obligated. He feels obligated because I'm his sister. I don't want to put him in that predicament. So, I just kind of stand back and I also, I try to let him know I'm here with already. So I feel like he's the one that's probably going through the most that I would try to reach out to right now that is still here with us. But, shit, the other two that I would probably want to talk to or reach out to would definitely be my dad. Like I said, he died when I was 27. I'm 34, so it's been a while. But there are times where I will like go to the cemetery and I would just sit there. And I know probably people like, what the hell? Why is somebody sitting in the middle of the cemetery? Just because, just to feel closer or to feel something. It's like you want to feel something, like that they're watching over you, what have you. But just let me know that you're here. Um, shit. Next would be my boyfriend or ex or however you want to look at it. The last relationship that I was in, it's coming up on a year that he's been gone, and I wasn't ready then, and I'm not over it now, and it's hard and it sucks. But if I could talk to him, like I would want to apologize because, and I would be apologizing for something that I couldn't control, but but I would apologize because I couldn't be there. When he passed away, it wasn't expected. He had heart issues. When I met him, he discovered his heart issues. He was 41, when we were together, but he discovered his heart issues like in his mid 30s. And as a nurse and medical professional or what have you, you beat yourself up because you think you missed those signs. And right before, I say probably like a month before he passed away, like he started having issues with fluid retention. But when you have heart problems, fluid retention is one of those things that you deal with, but you're not technically supposed to. It's one of those things that if you're retaining fluid, you need to get it checked. And I kept telling him, I was like, go to the doctor, go, be a walk-in, whatever. And he would always say, I'm going. Typical male fashion. No offense to you and any, but men are probably one of the hardest creatures to get to go to the doctor.
We had a whole episode about this, so
yeah,
you're fine.
And he was one of those stubborn ones that I'm going. And he got to the point where he would sleep a lot. And I'm like, Christian, you need to go to the doctor. I'm going. So he was at work and he was playing around with his coworkers, and he had a defibrillator. So, he had some parameters in place just in case if anything did happen. Playing around with his coworkers, he worked at a warehouse, and his heart started being shot for no reason. Um, they rushed him to the hospital. I was on the phone with him when this happened, and to hear a grown man scream in pain, if you've never experienced it, I don't wish it on anybody, especially when they're out of reach and there's nothing you can do to get to them. And, they got him to the hospital, and from there, I talked to him and everything. He was like, I'm okay. Of course, reassuring, I'm okay. I'm okay. I hope they let me go home soon. I was like, no, you're where you need to be. I was like, if this is what it takes to get you to the doctor, you're going to stay there. And they wound up keeping him, and it was a Friday, and they wanted to do a procedure that Monday to make sure that there were no blockages or anything like that caused this to happen. Friday, he was fine. Saturday, he was fine. Sunday afternoon, he was fine. I talked to him that Sunday afternoon, and his brothers got there to the hospital, and he was like, I'll call you back. Okay. That was the last time I talked to him. And I couldn't be there because when I called back and his brother answered the phone, I knew something wasn't right. And he was like, he's not doing good. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I just talked to him. He threw a clot from his heart to his brain, and he never woke up again. And it broke my heart that his 3 children had to make that decision. So if I could talk to him, it would be to apologize because I don't know, like I feel a sense of guilt because I couldn't be there, or I missed the signs, or was
Oh,
there something I could do?
and I'll tell you right now, that guilt that you said that you're being hard on yourself, you don't need that. Okay. You did everything you could do. Um, as a person that loved them, you feel me? As a loved one. And things happen, when it's time for us to go, it's time for us to go. You don't have any decision on that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
I
I
but
guess.
my biggest thing is I know the feeling is you didn't get a chance to say goodbye, you know, or that's what I'm assuming what it is. Don't feel blame. Once again, you did what you can do for someone. You talked to them, you checked on them, you try to tell them take care of yourself. He sounded like how I was when I had an ablation. I have some tachycardia. I have a heart, a regular heart beating things, and until I had to go in, and that's why I think I was at work when I had to go in for my situation, and I took it. I didn't take it serious until I saw my wife and how she was worried, and like we just got married, and she was like, "You ain't leaving me like right here."
And
And
that's how I felt with him. I was like, and growing up traditional Southern Baptist, you don't question God.
mhm.
Well, why can't I? Why can't I ask those questions? And it's
Well,
like, go ahead.
no, I'm listening to you.
And it's like, even almost a year in, trying to make sense of why? Like, and don't get me wrong, I grew up around death. I mean, I have a cousin that owns a funeral, so I get it. And I believe wholeheartedly when it's your time, it is 100% your time, and there's nothing that you can do to change that. But it's like the connection and the bond and the trust that we had between each other, that shit is unmatched. And when I mean unmatched, I mean like my daughter's father, we were together for 3.5 years and we didn't have that bond. And it's like, why did you give him to me just to take him away?
It's a reason. I can tell you right now, it's a reason. You know,
And like when,
you got
hmm?
to continue having that conversation with him, though. You
And it's like when you were talking this morning and you were talking about your mom and the episode that you wanted to do, and it's like, I don't know who, I don't know which one, I don't know if it's my dad, I don't know if it's him, but it's like I've been seeing all of these signs that like somebody is trying to get in touch with me, and it's like just show me, like I'm ready. If you think I'm gonna be afraid, I'm not. And I mean, I don't get it, and it's like it's just random things, like even things around the house that'll be moved or out of place. Like I was doing laundry this morning, I was the only one awake in the house. I walked through because like in the house you have to walk through the kitchen to get to the laundry room. I had made at least 2 trips. I came back through the last time and the refrigerator was open. And it's like I didn't think of anything else other than who's trying to contact me, who's trying to talk to me, who's trying to show me something. And those two people, my dad and Christian, are the two people that I have the strongest connection with right now. And it's like, if you want to reveal yourself to me, just do it. That's what I want. I want to be able to at least see them or talk to them or feel something. And it's so hard when you want to and nothing. Like you can't.
and, and
Oh,
you're still grieving. You know, you're still grieving, and this is normal. Um, you know, something. You know, I'm gonna talk to you in our southern. How we know I don't play with spirits. You know, at all. And my family know me about this. You know, because we've had conversations about stuff, and I had to look through. I just like how I speak to God, I go through Jesus for all that. So if I need to talk to a family member, I'm gonna have to call to Jesus to make that call first and foremost. You know, I know it's not gonna be that direct because there's no reason for you to still be here, and I don't want you to be here. You know, um, but one thing I can do is just share my love and tell you how I felt about you. You know, and as I was sharing earlier on my the live, what I spoke about, you know, when I talk to people, like let's see, I didn't miss 3, 4 phone calls, but they understand what I'm doing here. I'm gonna call them just to say, hey, you good? You all right? All right,
right.
just, you know, I love you. All right, talk to you later. That's one thing I can do. Love you. I appreciate you. How you doing? You looking good. You feeling good? How because you never know.
You don't.
Because
And it's
and I want people to treat me the same way. And I'm big on do not give me my roses when I'm gone.
yep.
Give them to me now, like so I can say thank you and return that favor. That's what I look at as love. So what you're doing right here, keep that energy, that feeling. You know, build that connection. But the things you feel like you couldn't do with Chris, if I'm not, and with your father, Do it with the people you have now. Continue to love on your daughter. Continue to call your friends. Call your brother that you was talking about. Reach out to them like, hey man, I feel like I needed to call you right now because I'm thinking about you.
And that's how I am, because my grandmother used to always tell us, when somebody crosses your mind, check on them. They're
Yeah.
not crossing your mind for no reason. It's something. Even if it's just are you still breathing
Yeah.
at this point?
Because I got something that, I say it's a blessing and a curse. It's like I have that strong sense of discernment. I know when something's not right. Like I in this and I have witnesses that would tell you, it's like, man, I tell somebody don't pick up that phone call right now unless you ready to deal with something. What you talking about? I've been, I don't know what it is, but that's how I go. So, but that's life.
Like,
That's what we have.
like with me, I'm an empath.
And that's what I can
So
say. So I'm over here trying to hold my head back and things. I feel what you're going through. I absolutely do. So, but with us and what we have for life, man, is just have to continue. Understand that's what it is. This is the good and the bad. That feeling you have right now, something will come and will make you feel as happy and as loved as you couldn't even imagine if you allow it. You know what I mean? If you allow it.
it's funny that you say that.
Because I got family members that hold on to grief. I can't let that grief go. That grief would take you down if you let it. Sometimes you got to let some things go so you can continue to go up top, so you can float. Because you got it, you got to get your air. Let some of that stuff go. But
And it's funny that you're saying that, because my two of my friends, we literally just had this conversation yesterday, and they was like, "You got to open yourself back up." And not saying that I completely shut down after Christian died, because I'll be honest, like my ties right now with grief are with him more or less than my dad. Now I would love to at least be able to, like you were saying, if you could make that phone call, would you? Of course. But from the time my dad got sick when I was in the seventh grade. Up until I was 27 years old, my dad fought. My dad had liver cancer twice. My father had a kidney transplant. He had multiple strokes. And I was there every step of the way. So I don't have any regrets when it comes down to my dad. Because like I tell people, when I was a little girl, I used to sleep on my dad's chest. And when my dad died and took his last breath, my head was on his chest. I made peace with my dad dying a long time ago. So my grief more so is with Christian's death than it is my dad. And I know that. And that has caused me to, shut down and be more reclusive than I already am, because you go through the motions of, do you want to learn someone? Do you want to trust another individual? And, you're going to have to start taking those band-aids off and accepting those scars and moving on. And it's like, do I really have it in me? I'm very guarded when it comes to me and letting people in. And the same thing that you literally just said, verbatim, both of them told me that yesterday. Both of them told me, you're holding everybody else to his standard and who he was. You can't do that.
no,
You're
and,
closed off.
and it's just like a close with a closed hand. You can't receive. So that's the big thing. When you keep hiding yourself, you keep, not only you can give to other people, but people can't give to you either. You know, and that's a part of life. How do you want to, you still have life within you. You know, live it. That's the best. Live
I
it.
try to remember. It don't always work.
I know. I know. if I could send hugs virtually, I absolutely would. So I absolutely understand what you're coming through. So man, but then seriously, thank you for sharing. This is an intimate show. We ask a lot of questions that are personal. We ask questions that are genuine, and we actually want to know, your perspective and your feelings about that. And this is what we do with the makings of you. This is you.
I needed it.
And
I,
thank you,
I
but seriously, thank you. And I got some resources for you. If once I say this, but and it's three things we support here on Everything Culture, and that is Jesus, therapy and counseling, and edibles. You pick which one is best for you, and make it work.
I take number three.
What if we? Hey, we'll hook you up. We'll hook you up. Well, all three if you need it. But hey, one thing we want to go touch on, to touch on our next question is, what is your theme song?
Lucky if you book.
Hey, if that's what represent Renee, that's what represent Renee. We going with it. Okay, okay,
That
Nucky.
is one of my theme songs. We'll stick with that. We'll lighten the mood with that one.
Love it, love it. How do you define joy?
Oh, joy. I feel ooh, when you're at peace, like genuinely at peace. I feel like joy and bliss, peace, all of those things I kind of lump together because if you don't have peace or peace of mind, like you can't really have joy or enjoy anything because you're so disturbed. Like your peace is disturbed. So I feel like if you don't have that, then there's no joy. I
Hmm.
feel like joy is like a would be equivalent to a free spirit. I can't talk. Unapologetic. Um, is an organic feeling. It's joy. I mean, there's when you completely let go any hindrance, anything like that, all of that is gone. You're at peace with yourself and whatever's going on around you. It's just joy. Like I experienced it for the first time in a long time. About a month back, I took my daughter on a field trip, and it was down at the beach. Um, and I got this Airbnb, and we were right off the water. And I'm not a nature person. I'm not an outdoor person. Never have been. I was born in slavery times. I would be a house Negro because I couldn't have made it in the field. I would have got whooped every day. But anyway, don't laugh. I need you to laugh because you look serious right now. But um, I'm not an outdoorsy person. My daughter is. I don't know where she gets that from, but she loves the beach. So that was part of the reason why I booked this particular condo, like right on the. But it had a balcony, and I kid you not, I opened because like the bedroom that I was in, it opened to the balcony, and I just laid there and just all I did was listen to the. That was the most peace and joy I felt in a long time. And I was on FaceTime with one of my friends, the one that lives in Texas, and she was like, "You're glowing." And all I did was simply go and relax. That was it. We didn't do anything spectacular, nothing crazy, but I was just calm. It was a sense of peace. It was joy. I felt relaxed. I slept well. You know, I don't really know how to describe it, but I know what it feels like. And that was it.
And y'all, this is the makings of Renee with Everything Culture. If y'all listen to us frequently, y'all may have recognized that we have passed a few of the questions because she's answering them before I can get to them. So, hey, but that's I appreciate it no matter what, because this is a conversation. This is how we get to know each other. So
Definitely. I'm enjoying it.
when, and you answered this already on TikTok actually, but this is part of the making of you. But when did you realize you were different?
Yeah, that goes back to that video. Everything I said in that video was true. As a child, especially during my adolescent years, I never really met a stranger. That's what everybody told me. Um, and I pretty much remember that for the most part. And even now, as an adult, you can put me in pretty much any group of people, and I'm gonna find a way to fit. I don't have to force it. It just kind of happens that way. But that's more so forced for me. Like other people may see it as, oh, well, you're just, you know, a what's the word I'm looking for? Some people would, I guess, describe it as a social butterfly. You can fit in anywhere. I have that ability, but do I actually like it? No, absolutely not. 0 out of 10. I do not recommend it. No, I had to train myself to be like that, and I know that sounds really weird. Sounds like you're training an animal, but I had to train myself to be like that because from the time I was in junior high school up into high school and graduation, I had an attitude out of this world. I was a Leo in rare form. I had a chip on my shoulder. Um didn't I like people, and I made it my business to let people know I don't like, you know. I It came off as aggression. And I'm like, well, Kim, you can't, as I got older, you can't go through life like that. You got to change a little bit because my motto was, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Um, this is who I am. I'm not changing for anybody. Now my motto is a little bit different. If I'm going to change, let it be for the better and let it be for me, not for somebody else. Um, but also, being a minor, I didn't understand what I was dealing with either. So that chip on my shoulder and that attitude, I didn't know what that was at the time. Now it's popular. Everybody's an introvert. Don't nobody like nobody. Nobody's real these days. Blah blah blah. It's like, look, you either are or you're not. Don't say it just because you're on social media
True.
and then you out every weekend with Larry Earl and everybody else. Like, no, the way that I am and what I'm telling you is how I am all the time. And like I said, as a minor, I didn't know what I was dealing with. It wasn't until I got older that I understood who and what I really was. And that comes with growth and learning. And I eventually came to the realization, okay, Kim, you're gonna have to deal with people at some point. We're gonna have to figure out a way to do this effectively.
Yeah.
And that's where I got to the point where I could pretty much talk to anybody. I could pretty much relate to anybody, but I have to do it selectively. Like my social meter will go down quick. You've only got a limited amount of time with me. After that, I mentally check out. Like I'm there in the physical. You're looking at me, you're talking to me, but my mind is completely gone. She's checked out. She's in a car already. Bless you. I'm one of those people that I'm gonna drive myself. No, I don't need you to pick me up. I'm good. Because when Kim is ready to go, Kim headed out. I'm gonna holler at y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Hope y'all get home safe. Call me, let me know you made it. I'm done. And my family used to make me feel like it was such a bad thing to be that way.
Mm.
Like I've had, and like I said in the video, I've had family members that tell me you need to be on the island by yourself because you don't want to deal with anybody. That shit sucked as a child to hear that. But now I'm trying to see what the going rate for islands are because if I could swing that and grab me one of those, because here is ghetto. Like It's
I,
ghetto. I don't want to be a part of this.
I feel you. I feel you. Hey, you gonna be part of. I ain't gonna get down. I ain't going down that path with you right now. Hey, I feel you though. I feel you. So this one don't have to be a downer to say, but the question we have here: how do you and your family or your culture recognize death?
Um, Sad but accepted. Like you go through your typical grieving and your emotions, but also realizing that it's a necessary. Like it's going to happen. You know, passing away is one of those things that we all have to do at some point. And, it goes back to what you were saying and I was saying earlier, it's inevitable. You can't do anything about it when it's your time. It is in fact your time. Um, I think it definitely hits different when you don't get a chance to say goodbye, or come to terms with the fact that this person is leaving or on their way out, lack of better words. But like I said, I've grown up around it. Funeral homes are in my family. Fun fact, when I was a child, I used to be deathly afraid of dead people. Now, it absolutely does not bother me at all. Like when my grandmother passed away, me and one of my cousins, we did her hair, we did her nails, the whole nine. So it's sad, but it's accepted.
And it's I was going to touch on that. Well, that question is feelings, but like, what's the procedures? I think that's a new question I have. Is about that, and I'm trying to figure out what's the procedure. Um, like
Ooh,
the wake, the funeral, the
oh yeah,
burial site.
oh yeah. In my family, the closer part of my family, majority of my mom's family, because my dad was a child. Depending on how close it was, aunt, uncle, whatever. All the brothers and sisters, they show up at the funeral home to help the husband or the wife, go through the process of planning. We all congregate at that person's house. You take the food, of course. You take the toiletries, of course. Um, what is it? What you call wake or viewing of the body, or as one of my cousins would say, interviewing the body.
Mm,
Um, we would do that the day before the funeral. The day of, have the funeral, have repast. Of course, we eating again. If all else fails, we're gonna eat. We're gonna be crying, but we're gonna eat. But yeah. But I was always told that the the grieving and the pain doesn't start until after everybody's gone. So in the midst of and while you're going through those weeks leading up to the funeral and things of that nature, everybody's there. That whole community is surrounding you, loving on you, taking care of needs that you may have. But it's like after the burial and after everything's died down, I think I see that as a disconnect when that person, that husband or that wife or that child who's lost somebody, we're kind of no longer there. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
It's like that gap. And I know that's the healing process. That's where that person starts to heal from what they've lost. But I see it as a disconnect. Like a good friend of mine, he lost his mom not too long ago. And even after the fact, after everybody was gone and after everybody stopped coming to the house, he was there by himself. That's when I started to reach out more because it's like now you're alone and everything's set in. Are you okay? And I feel like in our culture, I feel like that's a disconnect. I feel like we should draw closer to that person as opposed to well, we've got them through what we see as the hard part. They good now.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't think that they're good.
I love that perspective, and I have one of my, I call her a friend. She's been a guest on the show here. She's actually a mortician, and her mother recently passed. Today, she buried her mother. Um, if I was anywhere near her, and it's not even making excuses. Like I've been thinking, like, should I send something today? I know she may be getting crowded with a bunch of different people, but everything you're saying is like I'm gonna keep checking on her because she's a
You got to.
she's a strong woman, strong will, strong mind, but nobody's that strong, in my
I'm
opinion.
gonna tell you this. I was, and I still am. I was always perceived as the strong.
Yeah.
When my dad died, when my grandmother died, when my mom got sick, I was always perceived as the strong one. And granted, I hold it down.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna even toot my own horn, but I hold it down for people. But that just comes natural to me. But it wasn't until my mom got sick and we found out she had leukemia,
Mm.
and she was on the phone with one of my aunts, and it's like when we got the news, because like I came home, my mom was in UAB, which is in Birmingham, Alabama, and I came home to check on the house, check on the dog, grab more clothes because we were basically staying there. And I was on my way back, and my sister called me, and like my sister, she's strong in certain areas, but emotionally, she's not there like I am.
Yeah.
Um, and so things hurt her a lot more than they do me. For me, it's a defense mechanism. Like as soon as something bad happens or something tragic happens, my mind automatically goes into autopilot. It's like, okay, well, what do we need to do next?
Yeah.
What can we do to fix this, or what's our next steps, or what are our options? I go at I don't know why. It's just that's the way I am. But eventually, you get tired of being that strong go-to person. It gets old. It gets tiresome, and it's like, when is somebody gonna realize that I'm tired? When is somebody gonna realize that I don't want to be the strong one anymore? And when I got that call and my sister told me, she was like, "Yeah, Mama got leukemia," and I said, "Okay." I said, "What are her options? What type is it?" At this point, I'm a nurse again
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because my brain automatically that switch was flipped, and it's like, okay, what do we do next? What are her treatment options? What type are we dealing with? Are we dealing with um how fast is this, you know, maturing? And I guess everybody was kind of taken aback. I guess they were like, well, damn, she problem solving and we hurt. And I remember hearing my mom on the phone when she actually was able to come home, and she was talking to one of my aunts, and she was like, Kim is a lot stronger than Keisha is. And I remember my aunt saying she shouldn't have to be. And that's when it became real for me. Because at that point, it was like somebody noticed.
Yeah. Oh. And that right there is a lot of people deal with that. And how do you go by it? But if you're not there, what would happen? That's the scare. That's the thing. And
That's that what if. Like,
yeah,
what if I'm not here? Or what if I'm not available? Or what if I emotionally check out?
yeah,
That's just like with my dad. Out of all the years of training and schooling that I had never had to do CPR on anybody. Out of all the years I was trained and certified, I never had to do CPR on anybody. My dad stopped breathing in my arm. I did CPR on my dad in the living room.
Mm.
Never thought that would be the one person that I would have to utilize my skills on. But I'm glad that I could, because that gave us 31 more days with him.
But let me tell you something. More and more you're talking throughout this time that since we started conversing with one another, you steady showed you went through something and you used it. You went through something, you used it. You built yourself, you used it. And just like what you're figuring out why did you have to go through um your life experience with Chris? Trust me, in the future you will use it. Okay, so I'm seeing a pattern, you know, that this is the makings of Renee. You feel me? I'm telling you, this is how life goes.
Changes to like the hot mess that is Renee. That's what we.
Nah, you're a beautiful mess. Let's get into it. So, who do you trust?
Oh, nobody. Easy.
Okay, okay.
I'm being honest. Like, I don't trust. I don't trust you no further than I can see. I give you just enough rope to hang yourself.
I understand. I understand.
My expectations is, even if it doesn't happen, I expect people to betray me.
Mm,
Even if they don't do it, I still expect it, because I feel like if I'm already expecting it, it'll lessen the blow.
I like to get your hopes up high.
Exactly.
Okay, okay, okay. Hmm. If you had a biopic, who would play you in your biopic?
oh, oh my goodness. I don't know. Who could play me? Is I don't know. I honestly don't know who could actually play me. Who would want to?
So you got a story, you know what I'm saying? I think it would definitely make it past. It may make it to the big screen, but definitely it gonna be on the silver. I would say that.
I'd have to play myself. I
Oh,
don't think nobody can pull this off.
okay, okay, okay. No, once again, I ain't gonna. Hey, if you say it's you, go be you. All right. So if you are wealthy beyond all your means, you can't think enough money to do whatever you want to do in this world. You know, take care of whoever you want to take care of, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. But you had to do one occupation. You had to do one job. What would that be?
It's easy, but I don't know how to put it into words. Hmm. Honestly, it would be what I'm already doing, but helping, especially children.
Mm.
I have a very soft spot for children, no matter what their past, their situations, uh, no matter their past, their situations, what have you, it would definitely be children or young adults. Um, I still consider them children, 18, 19. You're still finding your way. You don't know what you want to do or who you want to be or whatever. And I guess it would kind of fall in the lines of what maybe social work, I
Mm.
guess, in a sense, because I feel like my experience with working with children that are both mentally and physically disabled, that gave me a different outlook. Um, I dealt with some really sick children, and these children were, you know, basically being taken care of by the state because their parents had signed them over because they didn't have the means or the capability to take care of a child that was, mentally and physically handicapped. I mean, I dealt with children that were self-abusive, very combative towards others, could not do for themselves, seizure prone, you name it, they had it. But not only them, I would like to work with kids that what some people would consider having behavioral issues or just a bad, they want to label them a bad seed or what have you. I feel like there's some good in each individual, and you just have to tap into it. You got to find that common denominator. You got to find how they tick
Yes.
and go from there. Because I've come across, I used to work in what they call a BIP unit, and basically it was a behavioral unit
Yeah.
for in one of the junior high schools here.
Behavior intervention plans or behavior intervention program. Then you have IEPs, individual education plans. So yeah.
And that
So
term individual is used way too loosely because the structure of an IEP, it needs to just be changed all the way across the board. It's so flawed in so many ways.
I don't think I mentioned this, but I was also an education surrogate as well. So
So you
been
know
all
exactly what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. Everybody else may not know, but it's work. Shout out to all my CASAs and surrogates out there, and the teachers and educators and people working with it, because
Definitely.
the work you're even saying you're doing is absolutely needed, and much really
Because
the money in it is boo boo, and
it's
it
trash.
yeah.
Absolutely. I had my first day and then the thing about it is, when I went to work that first day in that BIP unit, like they didn't even tell me that's where I was going. They didn't tell me. Didn't tell me any of that. I guess because they felt like if they told me that I would back out. No, no, I'm not that type of person. Um, but in like most BIP units, they have mostly men because, of course, they feel like men, you have aggressive children, you have the muscle and to be able to restrain or anything like that. But
Sexually
I
acting out,
got in there.
those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got in there and it was myself, it was another woman, and it was another guy. He was kind of in and out. He had other jobs within the school as well, and that's another thing. Spreading educators too thin. You got them doing this. You got them doing this. They need to be allocated to one spot. You're not paying them to do all these extra jobs, but yet you're expecting them to do all these extra jobs. And I was sitting at my desk, and this one young man, they came in, and of course I'm a new face. I'm a woman. You know how that goes. And it was a group of boys that came in. They came in, they sat down, they talking, going back and forth, having their own little personal exchange
Mm-hmm.
between them. And one of the young men made a comment, and I was like, hey, we're not going to do that. I was like, you've got yourself to respect, and you've got other people in the room that you need to respect. And
Mm-hmm.
he flat out told me, he said, I'll come over there and whoop your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him and I laughed. And I know this child probably thought I was crazy because the laugh that I had and the look on my face, and he kind of looked like, did she really just laugh at me? I did. And with a straight face, I told him, I said, if you come past these desks, you're not going to go back the same. And he was like, you can't talk to me like that. You want to bet? But the thing is, after that, I had no other issues. And one of the reasons being is because he had challenged and put fear into everybody else before me. And he kind of looked at me like, she showed no emotion. She showed no reaction. Now, granted, Would I have done anything to him or put my hands on him? No.
That's where we differ.
No. I'm gonna tell you why. One, I knew I didn't have to. He was all talk. You sitting around your homeboys, you want to seem tough, and I can read you like a book, and you're across the room, son. Like, I know what you'll do and what you won't do. And you have some that will do it. Now, granted, we took restraint training, so I know what to do if need be. But with him, I knew he wasn't gonna do anything.
I told.
And then I had.
When I was in my CPS training, I remember they saying all the restraint training we went through, and and they were saying, yeah, this one older black guy, he had a black eye. His kid jumped on him, but he kept his strength together. He did the right thing, and we're so proud of him. I was like clean cut. I was like the teacher's pet, but I told them then and there, I said that would be the day I lose my job. If they run up on me, I am going to lay them out. I'm going to defend myself. And once I know he's, and it's not going to take long. That's why I say it's not going to take long, but I'm not going to let nobody put their hands on me and harm me. And that's not going to happen. I'll just let y'all know. Y'all can take my information right now. Y'all can let me go. I know y'all need me. But I would let you know now. Do y'all still want to keep me here?
But I kid you not, though. In my 4.5 years, I've had some instances like that. But that particular young man, he wasn't a threat.
Usually they end up loving you. You know, ones that try to. I used to say most of them kids, they just need a hug and some love and some attention. But nah,
I see some of them now in Walmart. I've had kids run up behind me. You run up behind and grab somebody. Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, whose little bitty arms are these? Or whose child is this? And I turn around and it's one of my kids. And it's like, you were one of my worst ones. Why are you hugging me? But it's like a sense of, you're gratified because you touched that particular child in some way. And I kid you not, my older ones were a lot easier than my baby. I dealt with a second grader, straight, that tried to stab his classmate. I had to damn near hog tie this child. And then push the intercom button for them to come and get him.
People don't
because
understand.
If I had let him go, people don't get it, man. It's wild. I take my hats off to anybody in education, in group homes, anything. But even with all of that and all of the things that I've seen and the experiences, I still will work with and love on every single one of them.
I love it. Okay.
That's why I tell people, like, just bring me. I'm the neighborhood auntie. Bring me all the babies. All I ask is that you don't forget where you left them. You gotta come back and get.
Just come back. I feel it.
Not a permanent thing, but just bring me all the babies because I'm gonna stick up for them regardless. That's a soft spot for me.
Renee, that's what we appreciate about you here. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Makings of Renee with Everything Culture. So, back to it. So, other than the past 60 minutes or 120 minutes, when was the last time you cried?
I don't. And yes, I know that is bad.
I just saw you cry.
I know. And I'm still not. I'm still not okay with that. I'm gonna beat myself up about it later, but that's something that I don't do. I eat a lot of my emotions.
They're delicious, ain't they?
I know, right? But when you get full and that levee breaks, It's over.
I know. That's
I
something.
hate that.
Got to work on defining self. You got to find other ways,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
to replace that. But hey, this is what we do. That's what we do. Okay. Would you rather go back in time and talk to your younger self, or your future self to come back in time and talk to you now?
Hmm. My future self.
Mm.
And the reason why I say that is because I think more about what's to come and I avoid what has already happened.
Mm.
So I think that's why I think my future self. But, and also I feel like my past self made me me. And despite the hot mess that I am and despite the things that I've been through, I'm a hell of a woman.
Amen.
And I know I don't give myself as much credit as I deserve, but I acknowledge the fact that some of the things that I've been through would have broken other people.
Wow.
And I'm still able to stand on it. So I wouldn't change her because she made me who I am now. Now what's to come, that's that's different. Because in my mind the wheels are always turning. I'm always overanalyzing, overthinking what's gonna happen next. What do I need to do to make this happen? This is gonna happen, but how can I prevent it? I'm always ahead. The wheels are turning faster than I can process, so I would rather be future me than past.
Okay. How do you relax?
Ooh, I've yet to figure that one out.
Oh, you gotta do some
To
self
just
work.
fully, oh yes, I like I told you, it's been kicking my ass. I am in shambles. It has hands, and it is throwing them and sneaking me on a regular basis. Like this journey is not easy. This whole, what some people call shadow work and self discovery and healing trauma and all, this is not for the weak. Because when I tell you, there have been a few times where I've been like, the hell with it. But I know that if I don't keep going and heal me, I'm gonna repeat that pattern
Yeah.
with my daughter. And that's what I don't want. I do not want that for her at all. That's why I'm so protective of her and I'm so guarded. And her dad, he's like, well, you can't be like that all the time. And you got, sir, you part of it. Like, what you mean? Hush. Did nobody ask you? Like, you do not get to offer any suggestions because part of this monster you created. And I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the monster within me.
Well, we're gonna try to figure out, get you to cry more and relax more. We're gonna figure these
Why
things
you want
out.
me to cry more? And then you ain't even seen the ugly cry yet. I
Good
was trying
for
to
you.
keep it cute.
It's good for you.
Uh,
Okay. Go on to our next question. Matter of fact, you knocking them down. We got five more. We got five more. Doing a great
what?
job. Doing a great job.
I'm
So,
having
oh man, this is just the beginning of it. What is a quote that you live by?
get rich or die trying. I gotta throw a joke in there. I gotta
I
throw a
know,
joke.
but it could be the real
Oh
if that's what it is.
shit. I don't know. I have so many. I have so many. Dang it. Mm. We gotta come back to
Okay, we'll come back to it. All right, my favorite question.
that. Hmm.
This is your last meal. This is your coup de grace. This is you can have whatever you want. As big as you can, your as big as your imagination can be. Whoever can cook it for you, whatever you've had, whatever you never had before, what would be your meal, and who would prepare it for you?
Um, it would definitely be seafood or either chicken, something in that protein area, because those are my two favorites.
Hmm.
Who would cook it? Mm, I'd probably say my mama.
Hmm. Love it.
Cause I mean, even though that lady get on my life, she can throw down in the kitchen. I can't lie.
Whipping in the kitchen.
There's a lot of things that my mom makes that I will only eat from her. Like I won't eat it from anybody else because it's just not the same. And then plus, other people be nasty. So my grandma said, "You don't eat at everybody's house."
I was about to say, it's not what your grandma say. Y'all pretty clean, so we appreciate that. Okay. What is your favorite holiday?
Don't have one.
Okay, don't have one. Hey, and that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. All right.
I mean, they're just days of the week, honestly.
Love it. Love it. Hey, once again, this is the Makings of Renee. I can't share all my perspective on everything, so, but we here. You got two more. You got two more. All right.
I feel like I'm going too fast.
No, you actually got three because we still got you should still be thinking about that quote in the back of your head too. So
Yeah, okay.
let's see. How would you want people to remember you?
I would want people to remember me. Honestly, I would just want to be remembered.
Mm.
But if I had to pick, and it's gonna sound corny, but I want to be remembered as a comeback.
Mm.
Reason being, my shake back game is impeccable. And when I sit and think about all of the things that I've been through and overcame, shook back from, and I have to remind myself, like, girl, you done been through it, and you still came back from it. That's why I tell people, you can come back from things as long as you're above ground and not beneath. You got another chance. So I think that would be one of the things that I would want to be remembered for. The fact that I was able to come back and overcome whatever was really thrown at me. That and being a good mama. Because, I'm killing it. I'm just playing. I'm lying. I'm still trying to figure this parenting thing out. Some days I feel like I'm doing it right. Some days I be like, oh, hell, the child don't stand a chance.
Hey, every day's a school day. Just gotta keep one step after another. Okay. Did you figure out your quote?
I don't even really know if I have
Hey, we just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna keep it at "Get Rich or Die Trying." We can keep that. And that sounds genuine. If that what came to you first, we can roll with that. 'Cause this is your
You know
thing.
what? The thing is, it's not. Even if we were to use that, I wouldn't even want to be rich monetarily. Because in all honesty, if I could be 100% honest with, that's what I've been doing all night. But I don't care about money. Granted, it's nice. It can buy you nice things, but being rich has so many other meanings. It's not always monetary. Your blessings are not always material things. Like I tell people, I'll give the shirt off my back. Money means absolutely nothing to me because growing up, I had things, I had stuff. And my grandmother used to always tell us, don't ever act like you ain't used to. And, growing up, my parents provided everything that I needed and pretty much everything that I wanted. So I had things. But growing and learning, I realized that things make people go crazy. People fight over things. Homes break up over things. Families separate because of things, material things, money. When somebody dies, what's the first thing that they ask about? What they can get. So if I had to be rich in something, it would not be monetary. It would not be materialistic. Be rich in knowledge, self-worth, selflessness, love, being loved. Surrounding yourself with the people that make you happy, doing the things that make you happy. You don't see any funeral procession with Brinks trucks behind it, with the cars that you own behind it, with the clothes that you own coming behind it. It's just that hurt. And your closest family and friends, the people that you loved and that loved you and cared about you, those are the things that you would focus on being rich in. It has absolutely nothing to do with money and material things. Your experiences, who you are as a person, how you treat people, how people treat you, those are the things that make you rich. That's just like in African culture. A person's wealth is based upon their appearance in certain ways. Like when you're healthy and you're thick or you're full figure, however you want to call it, they perceive you to be wealthy because you're eating good. So everybody's perception of wealth and being rich is different. But for me, everything that I just described is my definition of being rich. It has absolutely I could give a damn about some money. As
But
long as I'm comfortable, I'm good.
see, I'm gonna put get rich or die trying. Then I'm gonna put your definition of rich underneath that. So that we gonna keep it that then. We gonna keep it that. I
Okay,
love
we
it.
can go with that.
See? All right. Now we to your last question.
You all deep and stuff. I'm gonna need you to not,
This is
sir.
these are the same questions I ask everybody to come on the show.
Yes,
That's how
sir.
we do
Okay.
it. That's how we do it.
I am thoroughly enjoying myself, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad that I did this.
Because you gotta come back. You gotta come back. That's the point. You gotta share it to your
I am
people.
coming back.
Share it to your people, then you gotta come back for more. So but the last question we have for you
You're
here.
not getting rid of me. Mm-mm. Oh,
What changes you want to see in your cultures and what changes are you bringing to it?
hmm. I think that kind of piggybacks on the question you asked me earlier about my culture and how I feel about it. I want to see growth in my culture. I feel like we're stagnant. I feel like there's so much going on in the world against us that we're stagnant and we're stuck. And I think we got to kind of pick each other up, pull each other out of this rut that we're in, and grow from it. We are a powerful group of people. The culture itself is powerful. Our roots are powerful. And I just want us to grow past that and be so much better than we are. But if I had to pinpoint one specific thing, stop seeking acceptance. That is the part that drives me crazy. Why do we feel like we have to be accepted? We were born to stand out. Everything about us is mimicked in one way or another. Why do we need to be accepted? That's the least of our worries. Our greatest is reaching our full potential. And the part that hits different is the fact that they know our full potential and it frightens them, but we can't see it for ourselves.
Mm.
So that would be my thing. And what I would bring to it, if I could help in any way to push my people towards that mark, no matter what it is, I'm down. Because a lot of us need help. We need that little pat on the back. We need that little kick. We need that boost to be like, hey, we got this. Like, do you not know who we are? I tell people all the time, if black people don't know how to do nothing else, we know how to survive. You're looking at a group of people who have been through times where we have had absolutely nothing. And we literally made something out of nothing. So if we're capable of doing that, hell, the sky is the limit on everything else we can do. That's a walk in the park. So whatever I can do in my community or with my culture or my people, and I say mine because I take it personal. Like, y'all are my people. I don't care if you like me or not, you still my people. Um, if I can help in any way to get us to that mark, whatever it is, count me in.
Okay. Okay. There y'all have it. There we have it. Y'all. She made it. She did it. Yay. Okay. Hey y'all. Y'all have just listened to the makings of K Renee. So, this is I think you may have set the record here. So it's like, but I appreciate it.
Oh, I
Yes.
had to.
Hey, I love it. I love it because you touched on so much that the intentions of this is to be this, to share and I think this has been a very emotional, thought provoking, and inspiring conversation, all in telling, it's been fun through and through as well. But it's like some people are going to hear this and they're really going to appreciate it because I do. I wish it could have been live, but this is something that I really actually appreciate people coming on, especially sharing their light with us. Okay. But Renee, if you're trying to be found, where can the people find you?
Don't find me. Um, I'm hidden out here in these social media streets. I try to keep it that way. I am on TikTok. Hell, what is my screen name on TikTok? See, you know what? That's how much I don't utilize that platform. What is it, Drake? I can't remember. What is it? K
um,
Renee 887, I think it is.
what did it say? Hold on, let me get my glasses.
So I can see it. See, I'm the supportive TikTok cousin. Like, I'm the one that scrolls through, watches the videos, let them play a couple of times and hit like. I'm the supportive one. I'm not the one that posts a lot.
I think it is K Renee like
I think
817.
it's like K Renee 887, I think. Um, Instagram is pretty much as boring as TikTok. That one is Kimberly with a Y dot Renee.
Are you private? Not private, right? Yeah, it's that's right. K Renee. That's KRENEE 887. That's it right there. You got it.
Yep.
Okay, okay. All right, you know how to find it. And if you're trying to listen to some more makings of yous and things of that nature with everything culture, you can find us on anywhere you listen to a podcast. That's from Apple Podcasts to Spotify to YouTube. If you're trying to see the face, if you want to check us out on Audible, Amazon Music, Google Play, Red Circle, which you can find us, or just come to www.everythingculture.com. That's the one-stop shop, not only for our podcast, but if you want to be on the Makings of You or be on the future episode, you go right there. And if you want to get some merchandise, go there as well. It's, hook you up. It's nice and comfy stuff, that really represents you. And if you're trying to find us on the socials, type in Everything Culture on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Facebook, Tumblr, even in Pinterest. We all around. You can find us. But we appreciate your support. We appreciate the interaction. And, the more we grow, the more we want to know. So I want to say thank you again, Renee. Greatly appreciate our conversation here. And we look forward to having you back in the future. So shout out to y'all once again. Much love and God bless. Peace.
Potential is slept on, not only by other people, but by ourselves. And I feel like if we realize that potential, we would honestly stop seeking gratification from a group of people that will never see our value and never see our worth. And one of the main reasons why they don't see it is because we don't see it in ourselves. Because you're reaching for acceptance from a group of people who have never cared to begin with. Self-acceptance, self-grace, manifesting within yourself, seeing beyond just what you know or what you're taught. Our parents didn't know everything. Our grandparents didn't know everything. Our great-grandparents didn't know everything. We only dealt with the cards that laid in front of us. We never reached for the deck and flipped through it to see what else there may be. We only see those cards and it's so much more beyond that. So, and I mean, it's lit because I'm Black.
Happening, good people. It's your host, Drake, the Mr. D713 with Everything Culture. Just letting you know, thank you. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Makings of You. We greatly appreciate your support. We look forward to more support in season 4. Make sure you check out www.everythingculture.com for our new merchandise, as well as check out all of our social media sites from Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and IG. We're all over. We greatly appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing y'all in the next episode. Peace.